Hi,
Hello.
welcome to our wedding website.
Welcome.
Here you can find all the event details.
All of them.
We have a special section for our out-of-town guests.
Very special.
We also have a section with pictures that Andrew and I took in Central Park and Brooklyn, thanks to our photographer Armando Aragon.
Thanks, Armando.
We also have a section where you guys can do the RSVP for the event.
Please do.
And well, the purpose of this video is to share with you guys our story, how we met, how we got engaged, and why are we getting married again?
Good question. It all began in 2010 when Mariana arrived to New York for a program where she would learn English, live with an American family, and be a nanny. She was here not even 2 weeks. It was June 23rd, and she had requested if there was any place that she could speak Spanish and possibly have food that resembled home. She was sent to a place called Enchiladas Mexican Grill. I also work Three Amigos, but Enchiladas Mexican Grill. And she had come in and we had met, and now we want you to come in and see where it is. So here we are outside of Enchiladas in Northport on Fort Salonga Road. And this is where we began our journey in life together. I was here working just a regular day. This is where I spent most of my days. And I was in here one day, in the middle of my work day, in walked Mariana, and the rest is history. All right, follow me. I was working at Enchiladas when Mariana entered, and I thought to myself as I saw her, I am in love.
I walked up to the counter and I asked him if he spoke Spanish, and he said, un poquito. And then I ordered my food. Do you remember what I ordered?
I do remember. This was before Mariana was meat-free. Mariana had ordered a chicken quesadilla and chicken nuggets for Charlie,
The kid that I was babysitting.
So after Mariana had placed her order and sat down, I ran to the back and I spoke to Juan, who was one of my coworkers, and he spoke Spanish, and I told him I was so nervous that there was this beautiful woman up front. And I said, what can I do? He goes, don't worry about it, moco. That means booger. He said, you got this. He said, just go talk to her. So I did.
So Andrew came up to me and he asked me what I was gonna do at 5, and I told him I'm actually get out of work at 5, and he said, do you want to go to the beach? But let me back up for a little bit. A few days before, I went to the beach by myself because I didn't have any friends, I didn't know anybody, and there was an older man flying a kite, and the kite fell next to me. And then he got close and he was like fixing his kite, so he started talking to me, and he asked me like, what's your name and things like that. And I had no fear, and I told him, I'm not from here and I don't know anybody, I have no friends, which was super smart. And he told me, don't worry about it. Here the people are like super friendly, and there's gonna be someone who's gonna come to you and say, hey, do you want to be my friend? And I thought that was super weird because where I come from, the town is like super small and everybody knows everybody, and even if like you meet someone new, at the end that person is the friend of a friend or the friend of your neighbor or your cousin's friend or something, so everybody knows each other. So I thought it was super crazy that a stranger can just walk up to another stranger and say like, hey, do you want to be my friend or something. So when Andrew asked me if I wanted to go to the beach and I didn't know him, he was a complete stranger, I was scared at the same time because I had like my mom's voice inside my head saying like, hey, what if he's a murderer, or he's like whatever, right? But I didn't listen to my mom's voice, and I told him yes, that I wanted to go to the beach. So then he asked me, where do you live? I'll pick you up. But I didn't want to tell him where I live. That was smart. So I told him, I'll meet you at the parking lot at 5.
And I didn't think she was really going to show. And I asked her for her name, and I thought she said Mariella. I didn't know she said Mariana. And then I asked her for her phone number, and she gave it to me. And this is the actual piece of paper that I got her number on, and I saved it and I hold on to it every day for the rest of my life ever since that day.
So we were here walking and talking, getting to know each other. We were talking a mix of English and Spanish. I remember a funny thing that happened was that I asked Andrew how old was he, and he answered in Spanish and he said 32, and I was 19 at the time. So I freaked out. I was like thinking, what am I doing here? I'm 19 years old. What am I doing with a 32-year-old? I want to leave. But I stayed, and I asked him another question, like, I don't remember.
I said I wanted to retire at 25. She said, how can you retire at 25 if you're 32? I said, no, I'm 22. She misunderstood.
I remember also we're walking around on some like rocks, and he asked me, he said, you can hold my hand if you want. And I said,
no
thanks, I can do it by myself. And I didn't want to hold his hand. I mean, he was a stranger. And after that, he invited me to go bowling, and we went bowling, and we had dinner there at the place. And what else happened?
I thought we did go out after that, and maybe we just had snacks there, but we don't really remember. All that I remember is that I fell in love that night with Miss Mariana.
I also remember I wanted to make it very clear that I didn't want to have a boyfriend, that I only wanted to be friends. And he asked me how long was I going to stay here for, and I said 12 months. And he said, all right, so I have 12 months to make you change your mind. And so he did. I changed my mind, and after 12 months, although I did went back to Mexico to tramit my other visa, and I stayed in Mexico for 6 months, and then I came back in January 2012, and we kept on dating for another 8 months, and then on August 2012, Andrew and I went to a restaurant called Vestidos in Huntington. That's where we had our first official date, and we went there to celebrate our second year anniversary as boyfriend and girlfriend, and that's where he proposed. And after he proposed, a lot of people don't know this, and a lot of people already know, we actually got married on March 2nd, 2013. And from the beginning of our plans was to have another wedding in Mexico. A lot of people were missing for our first wedding.
All right, everybody. So right now we're editing our video because last week we had a really nice surprise where Mariana's mom, dad, aunt, and uncle came in to visit. And we had arranged a nice meeting with her friends and my family to meet hers. And during which I had given a speech and I had asked Mariana to translate, and this is what happened. Okay. So today there's little significant things throughout the room, such as the people.
I'm like looking around the room. Say it again.
There are certain significant things throughout the room.
Hay cosas significantes alrededor del cuarto.
Which such things as are people.
Como nosotros las personas.
Okay. Another thing that you'll notice as you look through the room, there are 3 flowers in every vase throughout the room. And
otra cosa que puedes notar alrededor del cuarto es que hay 3 flores en cada vaso.
And each flower represents
y cada flor representa
our past,
nuestro pasado,
our present,
y futuro.
and our future. Our past being our parents.
El pasado ser nuestros papás.
Our present being us and our friends.
El presente nosotros y nuestros amigos.
And being surrounded by our parents.
Y estar alrededor de nuestros
papás. And the third, our future, which is our children,
que es nuestros hijos,
that our parents
que
have educated us and given us the courage to raise.
Que nuestros papás nos están ayudando a encourage us.
Yeah.
Somebody knows Spanish? Can you help me? ¿Qué? Encourage, like, que nos ayuda. Encouragement. Apoyado a educar a nuestros hijos.
Okay. As well as the
También
future
como
being,
el futuro,
all of you being here
ser que todos estemos aquí.
in the next chapter of our life.
Y el siguiente capítulo de nuestras vidas.
So I just want everybody to know a little something about our past,
Quiero que todo el mundo sepa un poquito de nuestro pasado,
which is going to bring us to our present
que nos va a pasar, nos va a traer a nuestro presente
and allow us to make our future.
y nos va a permitir hacer nuestro futuro.
So when I first proposed to Mariana,
Cuando la primera vez que le propuse a Mariana
and I asked her to be my wife,
y le pregunté que si quería ser mi esposa,
she said no.
ella dijo que no.
And I was very intent on marrying Mariana.
Y él estaba yo muy determinado de casarme con Mariana.
And I had said to her,
Y yo le dije,
I said, I'm a little embarrassed.
estoy apenado
And I said, I can't beg you.
y
I
no te
said,
puedo rogar.
I'll only ask you one more
Nada
time.
más te voy a preguntar una vez más.
One day,
Y un día
we got into a fight.
nos peleamos.
And Mariana upset me greatly.
Y yo lo hice enojar mucho.
And I said, if you want to make it up to me,
Y le dije, si tú quieres contentarme,
I said, then you're going to have to marry me.
entonces te vas a tener que casar conmigo.
And Mariana said,
Y
because
Mariana le dijo,
she knew I said, I'm only going to ask you one more
y como
time,
yo sabía que nada más me iba a preguntar una vez más,
she said, okay.
yo le dije, ok.
But it was not romantic.
Pero no era romántico.
And her family was not around.
Y su familia no estaba alrededor.
And her friends were not around.
Y sus amigos estaban alrededor.
And my family was not
Y su
around.
familia no estaba alrededor.
So today I bring you all here
Y por eso los traje.
because I wanted to ask in front of all of you to be part of our future.
Are you serious?
Will you marry me?
Are you proposing again?
You have to say yes to me.
Yes.
You can see it. It's not a plastic.
So thank you all for being a part of today's special day.
Can you, another time, buy the picture, please? No, gracias. Allá, sí, Mariana.
Look at Mariana! Wait, is that my saying right? No.
It's a part of it. I have a
I'm so
specially made for
confused.
you. No, it's a different ring.
No.
It's the same diamond.
Oh, it's different.
Kiss her, Red. Kiss her. Kiss her. Another kiss. Buy the picture, please.
So, who said you cannot have two weddings and two proposals with the same man?
Not me.
So, don't forget to go back to the website. You guys can RSVP there. And we really, really hope you can make it to our wedding. It will mean the world to us.
The world. See you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye. Yo estaba trabajando.
I went to the counter and I asked him if he speaks Spanish. He spoke Spanish. And now we are at the beach, so we can show you where we walk,
Where it all began.
where we have our first finally sit down and talk.
Or stand up and walk.
That's where he proposed.
Proposed. Don't laugh at me.
You can talk and meet each other.
This is where I'm going to return her.
Okay. Stop. Muchas gracias por
No, you
ver.
gotta start that again.
No importa, lo corto.
Besos.
Thank you.
Thank you.